Well, we're back for another edition of Te Akau TV. I'm joined this morning by Te Akau racing manager Reece Trumper. Reece, what a week it's been there, highlighted by the runners there at Riccarton Park, with Tokyo Tycoon obviously taking out the 2-year-old feature race, supported well by Maven Bell and Imperatriz.
Hey, Hazy, yeah, it was a great night. All the staff have been working really hard. And this is the night that we like to perform our best, and all the horses looked outstanding and they all ran well too. And it was a big thrill. Tokyo Tycoon it was an exceptional run. He was unbelievable, really, for what a 2-year-old can do. Imperatriz was just class above that lot. She's a beautiful mare, and she was so well placed in that run. That was great thinking by Mark. Instead of being greedy, we looked after the horse, and it paid off, and she'll be ready to go in what would be 3 weeks again into the BCD sprint. And Maven Bell should really be unbeaten. When she got beaten in the Group 1, she was very stiff, just got caught in a pocket, and now she's just a winner. So that was a big thrill too.
And Meta there on Wednesday, good to see Patriarca chalk up a win there alongside Zaytaku and the impressive Safura.
Patriarca has probably just been getting it a bit wrong with her. She probably just wants a little more ground, and just was going a bit hard in the blinkers. So we took them off and put the shadow roll on, and it really made her concentrate, and she really knuckled down well, and it looks like she'll get over a bit more ground for sure. And yeah, Zaitaku was great as well. He had a little bit of a surgery in the spring after Ruakaka, and he's come back so well, and the team have done a great job with him at the main stable. And Safura, yeah, on paper, she looked the moral of the day, didn't she? And probably not on a track that she liked, but she just showed her class and toughed it out. And that was a great ride by Craig Zaki again in the Tangerine.
Great, and she, of course, ran third in the Royal Stakes, so I presume that she's on her own little Oaks path there.
Yeah, she is. So she heads to the Dave and Karen race at Te Rapa on Legends Day there. We've got a really nice team coming together for that day, and she certainly looks like the further she goes, the better she'll be.
Great. Well, we're going to have a look at 3 meetings today. We've obviously got the meeting there on Thornton Mile Day at Trentham. A couple of snuck under the radar there down the line at Riccarton, and there's a big bunch of runners at Taupo. But Reece, I'm looking at my window this morning, and the rain's just started to bucket, so there could be some scratchings, and we'll have to wait and see with how things progress over the weekend.
Yeah, for sure. The weather's been pretty good for the last few weeks, really. But yeah, it's come back, and we'll just reassess it'll probably be Sunday morning. We'll reassess the fields and see what their chances look like, but we won't be running them if we don't have to.
Great. Well, let's kick off there at Trentham, and we're going to start there in race 2, the TAB NZ Premier. It's for the 3-year-olds under set weight and penalty conditions over 1,200. Fellini gets the services of Opie Boston, drawn barrier 6. Of course, Fellini placed in the Karaka Million last year. How's he going to go, Reece?
Yeah, look, he's had a break. He's come back well. Just had a few maturity issues, but the team's got on top of all of his problems now, and he looks really good. He trolled nicely, I thought. He looks really good in the coat, and his work's been astonishing. He'll get a lovely run in transit from that draw, and 1,200 metres first up's going to be ideal to him. And we're expecting a nice run, but he'll sure to improve on it afterwards.
And Caravello was desperately unlucky there at Te Rapa when posted 3 wide, but came back with an improved performance at Rotorua. He has the service, or she has the services of Craig Zaki.
Yeah, and she looks really good in the 1,200 metre. Trentham's going to suit her for sure, and she'll get a beautiful run from that gate, which will be good for her to get over the junction well. And she's certainly worth a top 5 chance. It's quite a handy field actually. But she's doing everything right, and yeah, we're expecting a nice run.
And race 9, the Group 3 NZ Campus of Innovation and Sport Wellington Cup, open handicap over the 2 miles. Quite an impressive wee field here with a bit of form. Leaderboard draws barrier 8 with Joe Doyle on board.
Yeah, look, he galloped actually really good on Wednesday at Matamata in between races, and we're thrilled with him. He'll be the standout in the parade area. He's a beautiful looking animal, English horse, obviously, and Joe Doyle rode him on Wednesday and was really happy with him, so he knows him now, and he'll be a nice bustle rider. He's not going that well, is he really? But he's drawn a good barrier for him. He can get out rolling and be in the clear, and hopefully he can change his form around in this 3200 is going to suit. And if any rain was to come, it would just bring him into it more.
Great. And moving across to Riccarton Park there on Saturday as well, we kick off there in race 4, the Farewell Uncle Scotty rating 65 benchmark over 1100 metres. And horse here with Australian form, Miss Dunsford, drawn out wide in barrier 15, but has the services of Hakeem Cameroon, who was good chalking up a couple of winners or one winner there on Wednesday.
Yeah, so they travelled down on Monday, and she travelled down really good, and she's in good health down there, and the 1100 is going to suit. And Hakeem rode her in all her work in the north. Drawn barrier 15 is a bit niggly, but it's kind of like a straight there, so it shouldn't be too much of a concern. And Hakeem's ridden down there with track work and everything in the springtime when we were there, so he knows his way around Riccarton Racecourse. And she ran third in a Group 3, the South Australian size. If she can bring that form, she's certainly winning this.
Great. And race 8 there, the listed Spates Timaru Stakes. It's an open handicap over 1400. And I know Mark's had a bit of success sending them down the line in these stakes races over the past 12 months, with Predefer obviously winning a race down there as well. But Perfect Scenario finds himself in a similar position, drawn barrier 2 there with Joe Cameroon on board. And he had some great form there in the spring.
Yeah, he did. Back to 1400 is going to help off a bit of a break, and he looks great. He travelled down nicely. 1400 is obviously probably his pet distance. He's going to get a lovely run in transit from that draw, and Joe gets on with him so well. Ticks all the boxes, and yeah, we're expecting him to certainly be a top 3 chance.
And 22, they're nominated at Taupo on Sunday, and as per Reese's word earlier, just keep an eye on the weather and your emails on Sunday morning, because if it does bucket down, we expect a couple of these to come out, but we'll run through them nonetheless. And we'll kick off there in race 1, the Maze Landscapes Taupo, rating 65, benchmark 1800. We have got Aquilo, drawn barrier 12 with Hakeem Cameroon on board.
Yeah, it was good for him to get into some form. Matter. I thought he was very good. Getting up to a trip's going to help, and obviously the better ground is better for him. Probably the best bred horse in New Zealand, but he just hasn't brought it yet. His future probably awaits jumping, but he's going well enough on the flat to run a cheeky race here.
In race 2, the Wise Concrete Taupo, rating 65, benchmark 1400. We've got 2, Shepherd's Delight and Devoted.
Yeah, Shepherd's Delight looks really well placed in this field. Drawn barrier 1, she'll get a beautiful run in transit, the 60.5 obviously, but she's earned it. 1400 is going to be ideal to her, and we're expecting her to be a top 3 chance for sure. Devoted, first up, he's forward enough to run a nice race, and he looks really good. He's matured into a nice horse, but he's same again. His future is going to be jumping, but there's no reason why he couldn't show a bit of cheek.
In race 3, the Mobile Welder Maiden 1300. We've got 3 here. Insatiable's been trying to find a good draw, scratching every odd week to find one, but finally gets one here, draw barrier 4 with Opie Boston on board.
Yeah, he's got plenty of ability. This horse, he is very unlucky first up. I remember 12 months ago he was favourite for the Karaka Million before he'd even had a race. He looks good. He's working well, and he's drawn a lovely barrier. He looks like a nice bet for the day. Apollonius, he's drawn wide, so we'll be nominating him at Te Rapa next Wednesday, and we'll just keep our options open for him. So yeah, that'll be good.
Great. And Trieste obviously comes out there. Race 4, Hero Worship comes out, and race 5, we've got 3 of them in there at this stage. Believe it or not, Spellcraft, and rightly so.
Yeah, believe it or not, he's a beautiful son. He's a real showy type of horse. He's got a white stomach, and He's certainly a standout, and he looks great. Just back from a break and just had a few maturity issues, but we've got on top of them now, and he's drawn a bit of a sticky barrier, but he'll get a bit of cover from there back in the field and let him get into a good rhythm breathing. And we're expecting him to be powering home, but he'll be, when he gets over a bit more ground, will be when we like him most. Spellcraft making his debut. He's done enough at the trials now to head to the races. He's probably in the same boat as Believe It or Not. Once he gets over a bit more ground, he's going to be a lot better, but Joe gets on with him well, and he's drawn a nice barrier, and there's no reason why he couldn't run a top 5 type of race, and rightly so. He's drawn an awful gate as well, but Hakeem gets on with her well, and she ran really well there on debut. Getting back onto a better surface, not like it was at Matamata, would help her, and if that was the case, she'd certainly be a place chance again.
And race 6, the placemakers, Rotorua, 3-year-olds, set weight and penalties over 1400. This is quite the field here. This is probably one of the better fields of the weekend, or better 3-year-old fields anyway, with Alfriston obviously came out of that 2000 Guineas where he finished 4th, and we've got a stack of handy gallopers from our barn nominated, which is headlined firstly by Marlborough Bay, drawn barrier 1 with Joe Cameron on board. Yeah,
if the rain was to come, it'd certainly bring him into it a lot more. Track was just a bit firm for him at Te Rapa the other day. His form before that in the 2000 Guineas was exceptional, and he was up there with the best 3-year-olds in the country. But if there was any rain around, he'd certainly be a top 3 chance for sure.
And Freeze Frame won impressively last start. Really likes getting his toe in the ground race.
Yeah, and he's beautiful, big son of animals. He's a lovely animal, and Dave didn't have to pay a hell of a lot for him, but he's probably in the same boat. He'll get a lovely run in transit from that draw and Opie up again. But if the rain was to come, it'd certainly make him a winning chance.
The Burgundy filly Elmanette, drawn barrier 10 with Hakeem Cameron on board.
Yeah, she showed plenty of wheels out of the gates the other day, so she's got plenty of speed there. Probably the same boat again. She wants good ground. So if it was to rain, she'd be an unlikely starter. But if it stays dry, she's certainly a good big player in the field.
And off to the Nunnery, won well at Matamata on the soft track there last time out as well.
Yeah, she had to work a dear lot as well, 3 deep on speed. So she didn't do it easy, but she's got some ability, this mare. And same boat again. She needs good ground. If she cops a wet track, she probably won't go, but she's a major player if it's good ground.
And Pukatero was really impressive, winning on the same course there just before New Year's Eve. She looks like a real filly in the making there with the informed jockey Craig Zaki on board.
Yeah, she's a beautiful animal too. Lovely grey mare, and if it rains, she won't be going there. But she certainly has so much ability, and wherever she goes, she's certainly going to be a top winning chance.
Great. Race 7, the Generation Homes Taupo, rating 88, handicap over 1400 metres. On the bubbles, another horse that's going to be looking to turn his form around. He gets a good gate with the services of Opie Bosson on board.
Yeah, he's obviously been in and out all season, hasn't he? But getting Opie back up is going to really help him, and hopefully we can be positive and put him in the race from that draw, and he can keep finding and get back to his best form, because we know he can. His first up run, this preparation was exceptional at Otaki, and hopefully we can get him back to that. He looks great. He's eating well, and fingers crossed he can get back to his best.
And La Flora Bell, she's a mare on the rise, drawn barrier 5 with Joe Cameron on board.
Yeah, obviously the 1400 is going to be a little slick for her, but she's going to get into a good spot from that draw, and Joe gets on with her really well and be looking out for her in the finish.
Zoluminous, drawn barrier 9 there with Hakeem Cameron on board.
Yeah, 1400 looks ideal for her since she's had a bit of a break. Just didn't have the best spring with her. The races we wanted, we couldn't run her in. We didn't make the field, sort of thing. But she looks like a nice chance in this first up. And if there was any rain around, it'd certainly bring her into it some more.
And race 8 there, the placemakers Taupo, rating 75, benchmark 1800. A horse that found good form over 2,000 metres at the back end of the autumn there. We're winning a listed race, Amalfi Prince, draws barrier 5 with Opie Bosson on board.
Yeah, and same again. He worked with Leaderboard and Self Obsession on Wednesday and worked exceptional. we've just had a few issues with him throughout the spring, but we've got on top of them now, and he looks great and he's working terrific, and getting up to the 1800 is going to be ideal for him. He's going to get a beautiful run in transit from that draw, and he looks like a good top 3 chance.
Another tidy wee field here in race 9, the Windstone Wallboards NZ rating 75 benchmark. Challa gets lumped with 64 kilos, but gets the services of Niranjan Palmer claiming 2 with drawn barrier 7.
Yeah, he's got plenty of speed to hit the front straight out of the gates. The 62 kgs is still a bit of a concern, but he loves Taupo, and Palmer rides him in all his work, so he knows him well. And no, we're expecting him to run a nice race, even knowing with the weight. It wouldn't surprise us if he's still there in the finish.
And Navelha sprung some pretty good form from the Spring Carnival there at Riccarton. Gets the services of Opie Bossum with drawn barrier 10.
Yeah, he might have drawn the outside barrier, but he doesn't really have too much gate speed, so he'll just get back and get breathing from that draw. The 1100 might be a bit slick for him. Be looking out for him when he gets to 1400, but he'll be putting it in the finish. Right,
Reece, you got Imperatriz home for us last week, mate. Can you keep the form going?
Look, it's going to be a very hard weekend if the rain comes, but if it's a dry track, Puketero looks like the best of the bet, and if the rain does come, freeze frame.
There you go, the weatherman Reece Hickey out there calling the shots and giving you 2 with the weather impending on us this weekend. And Reece, we're going to roll into a pretty big week upcoming, obviously with the Karaka sales kicking off there, I think at 11 o'clock on Sunday. So the team's been out there all week re-inspecting the yearlings, and I believe you've been out for another look as well.
Yeah, last week I spent the whole week with Dave, and we looked at probably 300 at the book. I know that he's been busy again this week. I went up and saw him on Monday, and he's certainly getting through them, and there's some really nice horses there for us to win next season's Karaka Million.
Absolutely. Well, he said to me the other day, he goes, Hazy, I've found the next Karaka Million winner. So he's confident he can go out there and find it. So keep an eye out on the purchases when they come through early next week. They'll be all over the website, and you're more than welcome to join the team, and hopefully you can find yourself at either Ellerslie or Akau Park there for the Karaka Million in 12 months' time as well. So that's the plan, and that's what all of the hard work goes into to find that next crop of good horses, right, Reece?
Correct, Hazy.
Absolutely. Well, that wraps up the week. Things quieten down over sales week next week before we head to the big day at Te Rapa, which is Legends Day, which includes obviously the Herbie Dyke Stakes and the BCD Sprint. So keep an eye out for us for next week, and obviously keep an eye posted on the website for those yearlings as they come through. But good luck out there, Reece. Hopefully you stay dry and you get one of your best bets home for the week.
Cheers, Hazy.